Hello, this is Sonja from A Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. Today I'm going to actually use this beautiful 2 stamps that my friend Brenda sent me all the way from the USA, and they both belongs to By the Well for God, which is a Bible journaling company. And if you are in the USA, I will definitely recommend you checking it out. They have fantastic Bible studies. They've got printables also, but obviously this stamps is part of like sort of Bible studies they do over the month. This is called the Matthew Alpha, and this stamp is the Holy Land stamp, and it's all about Israel. And I'm going to do an entry about Israel. I am such a supporter of Israel. I've been 3 times in Israel. The first time I went after school on a gap year, and I started my gap year there in Israel on the kibbutz. I was 18 years old, totally young and naive. I was not very secure in my faith, so it was a different experience. The next time I was working in England, that's just after I've met my husband. I actually went with 4 girlfriends. We traveled through Israel, Greece, and Turkey, and we stopped in Israel again. Wonderful experience. I was much more mature in my faith, enjoyed it. Although we didn't go with a tour group, we just visited these things by ourselves, so that was quite interesting. And then about 4 years ago, when my mother died, to celebrate her life, my sister and myself went on a tour in Israel, and we went with a tour company, and it was a wonderful experience. So if you ever can go to Israel, I'll recommend you to go to Israel. It's absolutely a bucket list, a must bucket list to me as for a Christian. If you can do it, save up for it, rather than replace the one European holiday for an Israel holiday, just do it if you can. So I'm a very pro-Israel person. I support Israel and I stand with Israel. Not because they're so wonderful, not because they get everything right all the time, not because they are better than any other countries, but because God has chosen them. And he says that he chosen them not because they're so numerous or they're so powerful, but he just chose them for the sake of them, and they chose him. That's the same with us. God chose us. He chose us before the foundation of the world, not because we're so wonderful or holy and perfect. It's because of who he is. He's a merciful and a faithful God, and that is just a beautiful picture. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to attempt to use the stamp. Now, I'm going to journal in Deuteronomy 12, and that is where God says that Israel is a chosen nation and that he loves them. So what I've got is I've got this seed here at the back, which I'm going to put here just to create a way for me to be able to have a flat surface to be able to stamp on, secure that. So I'm going to try my best to be able to do the stamp well, because although it's probably meant for a background stamp, I think I'm going to keep it on here. And I'm first going to do a test stamp, so maybe just move that away there. And I'm going to do it with Station ink because I want to be able to use watercoloring at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ink to my stamp, just making sure everything is filled up. It would have been nice to use a positioning stamp, but unfortunately, obviously this is my Bible. I was thinking of doing it separately and then stick it in my Bible, but I want to give it the watercoloring background. So I'm just going to stamp it first of all on here and see how it goes. Okay, so obviously what I see here is I'll have to stamp it much more, and I'll have to press it much more because it is quite faint. Let me show you. So basically what I'll do is stamp it much more, maybe, yeah. But I have also a feeling that my Station ink is quite dry. So okay, now I'm going to try to put it, just need to make sure I've got the right way there. So I'm going to put it here in the corner because I want to have a title. So now I just need to press very well. Okay. Oh, I'm totally exhausted. So the moment of truth is now. Obviously, this is more background stamp, but obviously I want a good impression. I think it looks beautiful. So what I'll do now, I'll wait till it dries. So while this dry, I'll just keep it maybe there just to protect my page when I do my watercoloring. I recently went to a craft shop and they had this Daniel Smith testers. So I thought it might be fun to use it, although it doesn't have a green. So I'm going to use my Monyo colors. And I'm just going to, for fun, try to test the Daniel Smith ones out. So in the back of the stamp, it gives you sort of a indication that obviously, oh, that's the way. That's a sea. So I'm going to do that blue. This is sort of the desert, and this is the land of Israel. But I'm going to do sort of maybe I would do a burnt sienna or a burnt, oh yeah, maybe I should just do a blue. Let's start with Israel. And then, yeah, what I need to do is obviously get a water brush. I don't think it's going to go very far, or maybe let's just see. I think I like this blue. I want it not to be too dark. Let me move it up so you're a bit more on screen. So I've got to tonight the house for the first time in a very long time. I've got the house for myself. So yeah, so I can do, I don't have to do a voiceover. I can talk to you guys. I personally love it when people talk to me while they craft. But I know sometimes the videos can be a little bit longer, and I mean some people prefer the shorter videos. So I'm trying to do a little bit of both just to accommodate everybody. Hopefully it will go lighter because I don't want to miss the writing and everything. So the one thing that struck you when you have never been to Israel is how small Israel is. I mean, God has given the land of Israel is actually much bigger than we know it today. But over the years, Israel has been squeezed out their land. So yeah, so one day Israel will get their land back. So yeah, Israel is extremely small, especially if you come from a country like South Africa or the USA. Okay, so I think let's do the ochre yellow for the desert. So yeah, it's extremely small. It takes a few hours to drive from here to there. The first time when I was in Israel, I was in a kibbutz up in the north, close to the Jordan border, and we could actually hear bombs going off in the middle of the night sometimes. And then I traveled through Europe. It was in 1992, I think, at the beginning of the Gulf War. And then by the time I got back to Israel, the Gulf War was on, or it was just about to break out. So my kibbutz actually didn't want to house me. They said, no, it's too dangerous. They don't really want me on there. But I was desperate. I didn't have any money to stay and pay for a youth hostel. So I just said to them, I will stay there. I don't care if it's dangerous. When you're young, you don't really care about things like that. So yeah, so I just stayed there for the night. And my next day, my flight was booked back to South Africa. So yeah, that's the one thing that struck me from Israel. It's much smaller than you think it is. And it's much safer than you think it is. Lots of people are scared going to Israel. I haven't felt scared for 1 second in Israel, not even in 1992. Yeah, it's a very safe place. Generally, crime is very low. Yeah, and I think their security is anyway so good that really you don't really have to be worried about that. So now I'm going to go maybe for a little bit of a darker, maybe I'm going to go for the gold here. I must say I love these colors. Daniel Smith is obviously a very good watercoloring company, but at my price range, I can't justify buying this because obviously I'm not a professional watercolorer. So I think the set, the Munyon set, is very nice. And with the Munyon set is also you can buy these pots separately. So you can sort of, if you have extra sort of money, or you can save up for it and just buy every month one or two of these pots, than having to buy the whole set. I think I like how that looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dry it, and then we are going to stamp our title. Okay, so the page is a little bit wrinkly, but yeah. So what I want to do is I want to write there, beloved Israel, because I think the Lord calls anyway Israel his beloved, calls us his beloved. So I think that's a good idea. Unfortunately, my small block like this is just, can't find it. I've actually looked now through and I can't find it. Now, unfortunately, there is not a capital letter B. Okay, I'm gonna start with my beloved. Okay, so I might write my beloved Israel here. So I must just now think how am I gonna do it. Okay, that looks nice. Don't think there's a capital letter B. Let me just, I think what I did is a G for God, a J for Jesus, H for Holy Spirit. I think that is what they try to do. So beloved have to be with a small letter, but that's fine. Unfortunately, Israel is also now with a small letter I, but I might see if I can do something with that L. I hope it fits. I think it should fit. I've got a problem now. This V is quite far from the E, so I think I might have to get some paper and put it over there. So I've got this paper that is very much the same. So I'm actually just going to cut it out. This is now a bomber. I should have planned it better. That's why I'm not a stamper or very good at stamping. Piece of paper over there. So I'm going to see if I can get blue over there. It's now very pity that this is not working out exactly as I wanted. But yeah, anyway, that's just one of those things in life. Okay, let's just try this. And then, okay, let's try again. Okay, that's okay. Maybe I should start with the D. That's maybe a good idea. So that is sort of at the end, but you can still see it's a D. And there you go. And then let's do the O now. Okay. And now the V. I think there is now space for the V. Yeah, I didn't even have to put the beloved so at the end. Okay, so that's done. My beloved Israel. So I think I'm going to do Israel here. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to use this, but then I'm just going to add a stripe at the top with a pen. So I'm just going to use that. I'll do that later. I think I'm going to do it with a more thicker black cookie. See if I can do it also like, there you go. I think that looks very nice. And to tell you the truth, you can hardly see that I fixed that. My beloved Israel. Okay, so now I'm just going to actually almost this whole passage is about Israel, how God chosen them. Okay, so the verse that stood out for me says, "But when you go over the Jordan and live in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to inherit, and when he gives you rest from all your enemies around you, so that you live in safety, then to the place that the Lord your God will choose to make his name dwell there, there you shall bring all that command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and your contributions, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, your sons." Just want to put today's date. So yeah, I love using these stamps. Thank you, Brenda, again. Lovely. This is a type of stamp I can definitely use again. Love this background stamp. Beautiful. And what looks nice is that it looks like it's part of this page. And I like the fact that we could be able to fix this, that you could hardly see that. So there's always a way out. So when you just, yeah, I'm not the best stamper. I'm practicing. So, I mean, when I see some YouTubers stamp, it looks so easy. But obviously their videos is fast forward. So it's, yeah, it's easy. It looks easy. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'd love to have you as part of this family. And you must have a great day. And God willing, I'll speak to you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.